1.
Alright, Shalom, we are the Hebrew Israelites. We come out here to wake up the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans and to bring them back to their heritage and their true power, which is the God of the Bible. First off, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai.
All praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Double honors to the elders of GMS.
Double honors to the elders of GMS.
And Shalom to the Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, preaching the word in truth and sincerity, diligently every week.
Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations.
Yeah, so the Most High set us up, the elect or the prophets, to come out here and to teach His word. He separated us from the wicked of this world. That's why we're different than all these people out here.
Verse 7. But the Lord said unto me, say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak.
Yeah, so everything that's in the Bible, everything that the Lord told us to speak, we're out here speaking it boldly. We're not holding anything back. We're not like those hypocrites in your churches that don't teach the whole Bible and the law, statutes, and commandments and the prophecies. We're out here, we're teaching all of that.
Verse 8, be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, saith the Lord.
Yes, we're not afraid of your threats, your tough talk and all that. The Most High is with us wherever we go. Because the scriptures say that no weapon formed against the righteous, no weapons formed against the righteous shall prosper. So that's the mentality that we got. We're not afraid of the cops. We're not afraid of the SWAT team. We're not afraid of the FBI, the Project Megiddo, none of that stuff. We know that there's going to come a time when they're going to come after us and stuff like that. We're prepared in our mind for that.
Verse 9, then the Lord put forth his hand and touched my mouth, and the Lord said unto me, behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant.
Yeah, so we're using our words. We're the word of the Most High to condemn this place. We're marking y'all. Either y'all come in or y'all don't. We're marking y'all with the word of the Lord. And when you shake your head, when you walk by, when you look at us like we're crazy and all this, you're marking yourself.
Verse 15, for lo, I will call all the families of the kingdoms of the north, said the Lord, and they shall come, and they shall set everyone his throne at the entering the gates of Jerusalem, and against all the walls thereof round about, and against all the cities of Judah. And I will utter my judgments against them, touching all their wickedness, who have forsaken me, and have burnt incense unto other gods, and worship the works of their own hands. Thou therefore gird up thy loins and arise and speak unto them all that I command thee. Be not dismayed at their faces, lest I confound thee before thee. For behold, I have made thee this day a defense city, and an iron pillar, and brazen walls against the whole land, against the kingdoms of Judah, against the princes thereof, against the priests thereof, and against the people of the land. And they shall fight against thee, but they shall not prevail against thee, for I am with thee, saith the Lord, to deliver thee.
Yeah, so that's why we're out here. We're telling our people how they're going off. We're rebuking the Israelites who sold out, the Israelites who aren't preaching the proper doctrine of the Most High. We're proving them through the scriptures. And we're marking them.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 1 verse 5. Go thy way and show my people their sinful.
I got this.
2 Ezra chapter 1 verse 5. Go thy way and show my people their sinful deeds and their children their wickedness, which they have done against me, that they may tell their children's children. Because the sins of their fathers are increased in them, for they have forgotten me and have offered unto strange gods. Am not I even he that brought them out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage? But they have provoked me unto wrath and despised my counsels.
Yeah, so basically everything, all the ways that our fathers and stuff went on, we're still, a lot of our people, 2/3 of our people, they're still doing the same thing to this day. And the Most High brought us out of Egypt and all this, and people are still careless dwelling in Babylon and stuff. Not having a care in the world, not fearing the Most High, not respecting the Most High, none of that stuff.
It's Isaiah 55, verse 6. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found.
Yeah, seek ye the Lord while he may be found, because if you notice, like, the weeks are going by, the days are going by faster, the weeks are going by faster, the months are going by faster. Like, it seems like 2013 like just started, but you know, it's about to end and stuff like that. And you don't have all day, or you know what I mean. You don't have to come back to the Most High, because you know, eventually, if you don't come back to the Most High, you're marking yourself for destruction. So it will behoove you to humble yourself and do what you're supposed to do as an Israelite. Show integrity. But the majority of our people, you know, they're proud. They're in that folly spirit. They're about to go celebrate Thanksgiving, go shopping on Black Friday and all this stuff. And they're not thinking about, first off, like how you know, like what's for example, like what Thanksgiving represents and stuff like that. The so-called white man came over here and slaughtered and stole, raped, robbed, and murdered the North American Indians and all the indigenous people, and to take this land, basically.
Excuse me, y'all answer questions too? Y'all do? How come y'all show the route from Brazilians, Colombians to Uruguayans?
Oh, you said what?
How come y'all show this route? Like, how come y'all show that, why these are related? But y'all don't show the route. Like, for example, you only say American Negroes, but y'all don't say Brazil. But y'all say Brazilians, Colombians, and whatever that word is. Y'all include those in the group, but y'all don't include the other ones.
No, I know what she's trying to say.
Why American Negroes? Why not Africans? Or why not everybody that came out of the tribe of Judah? Like, why not?
No, I mean, because then you got to realize, like, the Africans and the Negroes are two separate people. So,
How are they?
no, because the people, I'm trying to think out something. Basically, like the people that came on the transatlantic slave trade, they were different than Africans. Like, they were Israelites. The Israelites during 770 AD, the Romans besieged and destroyed Jerusalem, and the Israelites went into the interior of Africa, like and stuff like that. So that's where they got rounded up by the Arabs and the Africans, and they sold us over.
Right. So you show, like y'all say that now because of blending or whatever the case may be, American Negroes are separated from the Israelites.
No, I mean, I'm sorry, American Negroes are different.
Yeah.
That's not how it is. But my question is, you see how you say Brazilians, Colombians, and
Uruguayan.
Uruguayan. Y'all show how they're all included, but just like the Israelites are not just one people, like there are different races that are Israelites, right?
No. You got different tribes. That's what we're illustrating. Like, there's different tribes, but we're all one nation of people. That word Israel goes back to the man Jacob, which is the forefather of these people. And none of these people, like these names that you're reciting, like the Haitians, Dominicans, those are all bywords that the so-called white man actually put on our people. And now, as far as why we're not like identifying African Americans versus American Negroes, is because we're not Africans. You understand? Like, back in the 1980s is when that vibration of African American was being pushed. Before that, the so-called Negroes in America were being called just that, Negroes. Just like I'm Puerto Rican, but I'm not Puerto Rican. That word Puerto Rico means rich port. You understand? So, I mean, if that answers your question.
Kind of, sort of. I mean, not really. Honestly, not really.
But I mean, what we're trying to illustrate is that these people here, all right, are the 12 tribes according to the Bible. This is who they're being called now, but realistically, this is who they really are according to the Bible. Okay?
I'm sorry, that question is gonna present itself in my head again. I'm gonna ask it again. I'm gonna present it a different way.
Okay. All right, but as far as we're not Africans though. The Africans would come from the line of, or the lineage of Ham, right? And we come from Shem. We're Shemites. Okay? And this is the people whom the Lord chose. All right? So the Lord has a special and a chosen people, and happens to be the Israelites. It's not the Chinese, it's not the Japanese, it's not the Africans. Now, I will say this. What do you have? You have Israelites scattered among the other nations. But they're not really the other nations. They're really Israelites. Because you are who you are according to your father. Because the father's the one who what? Carries the seed. Alright? So, I mean, it's as simple as that. You got something to read?
I got something from the book Zondervan Convex Bible Dictionary. The white man wrote this, okay? Point blank period. Now, when you go to the description of Ham, which is the Hamites, the so-called the real Africans, okay?
Right.
It says under Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes.
Not the Negroes, right? So it goes to show you that there's like a separation there, all right? That Ham was a progenitor of these people, but not the Israelites, and that's basically what's that saying. And it gives you the lineage of Ham, all right? The Ethiopians, all right? The Egyptians, so on and so forth. That's the lineage of Ham, okay? But not the lineage of the Israelites. You gotta understand, not all dark races are the same. You know, there was a point in time where basically everybody was dark, you know? So to really understand, like, as far as who's the Israelite, like we're doing, you gotta understand forefathers, you gotta understand lineage and genealogy. And understand that the Lord has a chosen people, and that chosen line was through Shem, so on and so forth, down to Abraham, down to Isaac, down to Jacob. Okay, Jacob having born the 12 tribes. Alright, thus the Israelites.
Read this again. It says, Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood, he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes.
Not the Negroes. So basically what? Not Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, okay? Alright? Because that's when you get down to it, that's who's being identified as Negroes today, alright? Yeah. Alright? And then later on, what? African Americans. But you're not African, neither are you even American, you know? You may be a citizen of America, but you're not really American. Just to back you up on that, I have, this is Genesis chapter 10, verse 6. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Put, and Canaan. Now, those are the Hamites, the Cushites being the Ethiopians, Mizraim being the so-called Egyptians, okay? And Put and Canaan being the north and south so-called Africans, okay? But even that term Africa or African goes back to a so-called white person, or biblically an Edomite, okay? Leo Scipius Africanus, okay? That's where you get that term African. So the Africans aren't even really Africans, you know? To get down to it, as far as lineage and heritage, the Hamites, and in their respective so-called tribe. Yeah, that's it on that.
Finish reading this information from the ancient scriptures. It says, he became the progenitor of the dark races, referring to him, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites.
Mm-hmm. Which we just read, the sons of Ham in Genesis 10 and 6.
This is Exodus chapter 11, verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how the Lord...
Yeah, you know, you got Satan making all kinds of noises, you know? Go ahead.
But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog... This is another reason why we got it.
Yeah. But these smells and everything are getting out of control.
But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord do put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
So that it tells you that there is a difference between the Egyptians, which we read are, and go back to Ham. The Egyptians, they go back to Ham, all right? Now, it says that you're going to know that there's a difference because a dog ain't going to come up against the Israelite. That's right, all right? Because back then, there used to be a spirit on us, okay? And we had domination over the animals. Well, we're under the curses, so we no longer possess that authority, you know? That's why, you know, an animal is almost like dumb in these times, you know? You try to tell, you know, teach a certain animal to do certain things, you know? Try to tell a bear with its cubs to not eat you, you know? That bear gonna tear you apart. So it's gonna come back to the Lord giving us that spirit and domination over the animals. But the other nations ain't gonna have that. The animals gonna tear them nations apart, you know? Because the Israelites, they're gonna inherit the kingdom, no other nation. The only hope that these other nations have is this and this alone, is that they have a mistaken of identity, or AKA Gentiles, okay? Israelite foreigners, that's really it. Meaning that Israelites being scattered that took on the other nation's heritage, identity, and even physical characteristics. But they're, again, Israelites. That's why the house of Israel got to be sifted, man. You got Israelites everywhere. Just so you know, we got to explain that so things don't get twisted like it's just a color thing. It ain't just a color thing. You know? You are who your father is. Now, seeing how we don't have the exact records to everybody's lineage, you got to go by the Spirit, which is what we do. We try the spirits to see whether they are of the Most High. Okay? Because at the end of the day, you have chosen of the Most High, and those are going to receive the redemption. All right? And then you got, hey, the goats and the sheep. So the goats got to be separated from the sheep, and that's going to be done through the word. If you believe what it is that we're saying, and say you have pale skin, say you have a long nose, right? Even say you have blue eyes, man. But you believe that the so-called white man is going down and going into slavery, and that we're the next rulers to be, and you believe that you feel like somehow you're a part of that, there's a good chance you could be an Israelite, man. And you're taking on the identity of Esau, you know? It's very well possible. Because the seed of Israel made its way all throughout the earth, you know? The seed of Israelites made its way all throughout the earth.
Deuteronomy 32 verse 8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam.
Yeah, when he separated the sons of Adam. All right? So there's a separation and a division amongst the Israelites and all of the nations. Go ahead.
When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
Yep. According to the number of the children of who? The Israelites. Right?
For the Lord's portion is his people, Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
And the portion that the Lord chose to be his and his alone was the Israelites. You know? So these other nations, their real purpose when it comes down to it, man, is to be Israelite slaves, right? That's why the Lord even created the nations, man, to serve us. The Lord created us to serve him as his people, and the Lord created these other nations to serve us, to be our slaves. And our bondmen and bondwomen. So there's going to come a point in time where the so-called white man, the Chinese, the Japanese, and all these other heathens, they're going to come worshiping at our feet, man. And that's the kingdom of heaven. All right?
Another way you can distinctly tell that we're the Israelites because of all of the curses and the plagues,
That's right,
and the prophecies that affected our people.
That's right,
throughout the progression of time. We went through the worst captivity, etc. This is Romans chapter 8, verse 16. The Spirit itself.
Yeah, and somebody get you are a chosen priesthood. Yeah. And then there's another one that I want that I can't think of right now.
Deuteronomy.
What?
I think it's in Deuteronomy.
Yeah, it's in Deuteronomy. Go ahead.
Romans chapter 8, verse 15. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Abba.
Yeah.
The Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of God.
Yeah, because when you get right down to it, like the brother was getting into, we went through so many curses. Loss of heritage, a loss of language, a loss of identity. Now, to break that down even further, what's the one thing that the Lord gave us that He didn't give any other nation? The truth. Yeah, well, the promises, the truth. Exactly.
The first verse or something.
Because there ain't no other nation on the face of this planet that could break down these scriptures. All right? But the Israelites, starting with the elders, man. The elders of Great Millstone. All right?
Continuing on, it said, and if children then heirs of God, and joint heirs with Yahushua, if so be that we suffer with him, and we may also, and if children then heirs of God, and joint heirs with Yahushua.
And joint heirs, man. Joint heirs. With who? Read that again.
And if children then heirs of God, and joint heirs with Yahushua.
Yeah, with Yahushua, man. So we're gonna share in some of the inheritances of as the Lord, man.
It's so be that we suffer with him.
It's so be that we suffer with him. Now, the Lord suffered great things, man. He suffered the wrath of the people, the scoffing of the people. He suffered death. All right? Much greater than what we're suffering right now. Go ahead.
That we may also be glorified together.
Yeah, so we got to suffer in order to be glorified, man. That's part of the truth. That's how we help keep ourselves clean from what? The pollutants of the world. Right? Because there's temptation all over the place, man. And that's when Satan comes at you the most, when you're at your weakest point, Go ahead.
For I reckon that the suffering of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us.
And that's another thing to note, man. Read that again.
For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time.
Yeah, the sufferings of this present time, all the tribulations, the trials, all the hell we catch, man. Read.
Of this present time are not worthy to be compared with.
Are not worthy to be compared
with the glory which shall be revealed in us.
Yeah, the glory that's going to be revealed, Salakia, within us is the truth, is salvation, and is the kingdom. Yep. And then you got that what I wanted?
This is the spirit is, well, I'm reading. Revelations 19 verse 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship God, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy.
Yeah, read that again.
Revelations chapter 19 verse 10.
We coming back?
No.
Go ahead, read.
Some of this for.
And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua.
Yeah, the testimony of Yahushua is the word, man. Go ahead.
Worship God.
Yeah, worship the Most High. Now, if you go to John the 4th chapter, it talks about how, well, as a matter of fact, you can get it. You can get it. Read on. Get me John 4. Yeah, and it might be a couple verses up where it says, if you worship the Most High, He's the Spirit, and they that worship Him must worship Him in spirit and in truth. Go ahead.
For the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy.
It's the spirit of prophecy. So the Lord, man, is the spirit of prophecy, which is what? Which is this word. The word is what allows you to become alive, to be aware of the truth, to be aware of what's going on. This is why this is called the living word, man. These words are basically action that have passed and are awaiting to become present action, you know? Go ahead. John 4.
John chapter 4, verse.
That's exactly why the Lord said that the words I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. That's exactly what the Lord said.
John chapter 4, verse 24. The Most High is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth.
And in truth. So that goes hand in hand. Alright? Must worship him in spirit and in truth.
Alright, this is Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 2. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God, thy power.
Yep. And what makes us holy? Because first of all, what was committed unto us? The oracles of the Most High, the commandments. All right? The Lord chose us to be holy, to be priests, to be pastors, to be ministers, not the so-called white man. The Lord raised us up to be prophets, not these niggas in the church that don't tell you the truth. All right? So even in that, even amongst Israel, what? These are chosen. Hence the 2/3. Go ahead.
All right. And the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself.
A peculiar people. All right? Unto himself. So we were made specifically for the purpose of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. All right? We were specifically created to serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And how do we serve the Creator? How do we serve Yahweh? Through his son, Yahushua. That's the only way we can even get to the Most High. And we do that through what? Through the Word. So it's exactly what we're doing right now. Through our studies, through our teachings, through our videos of us breaking things down. That's how we're serving the Most High. That's the only way you can serve the Most High. It's not about what just comes out of your mouth. It's about what actions you take. Because these words are supposed to reflect every action and thing that you do. This is a lifestyle. This ain't a fly-by-night charade. This ain't fake, man. This is real. It comes down to life and death. Go ahead.
Above all the nations that are upon the earth.
And so the Israelites are above, not equal to, not below, but above all nations. Above all nations that are on the face of the earth. Which is why, when the Lord returns, the only ones that are going to receive redemption are who? Israelites. The only one going to escape out of America are Israelites. Everybody else is going to be burnt the hell up, man. Or have died from pestilence, or famine, or a concentration camp. But the elect out of the nation of Israel, they're going to be the ones to receive that salvation. The Lord died for the nation of Israel's sake, and the elect at that. We were the ones adopted back. We're the ones in whom John 3:16 applies to.
Second Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 17. We hope also that that God that delivered all his people.
Yeah, come. And technically, that's exactly what's going to happen. The Lord is going to deliver all his people. By how? By what? You got the elect that's going to come through the fire, and you got the 2/3, right? That's going to have to be burnt by the fire. But ultimately, all Israel shall be saved, right? Meaning what? Brought back to the Most High, or brought back to the Most High. So that's eventually going to happen. But the period and time in which we're living now, there's only a remnant that the Lord's gonna look down upon and consider to be worthy for that redemption. You know? So we got to give our lives, the elect men, all right, men